Maladaptive daydreaming, for those who don't know what it is, it's a compulsion or a constant need to obviously be making up fake scenarios in your head, escaping to another reality in your head. So, obviously, to a certain extent, we all daydream, but it is a problem when it's so constant and you feel in a way that you don't control it, that you're out of control in this. So you might also be a person that attracts emotionally unavailable people to your life, and you might in a way have some abandonment issues or even attachment issues. So if you do relate to this, you might be like, oh, what does that have to do with the other thing? Well, you might be aware of this already, but we attract what we are. We attract to our lives things that like relate to us. So if you also relate to attracting emotionally unavailable people and having attachment issues, having abandonment issues, and you also relate to maladaptive daydreaming, that's because you yourself are an emotionally unavailable person. And you might think, well, no, that's not true. I'm always there for my friends. I'm always there for the people I care about. Yes, but you're never there for yourself. You're never here, really. You're never really present. You're somewhere else. You might be in a conversation and you might find yourself struggling really hard to just stay in the present moment. So with attachment issues and abandonment issues, that's because you also have this need of abandoning yourself, abandoning your body. And it's not your fault. The way it was probably developed is that you probably as a kid faced a lot of trauma or just a very negative environment, uncertainty, just a very unhappy place. And as a kid, your only way to cope with it was to obviously create a reality, start daydreaming of the things you wish you had as a kid, which probably were love, or your parents being there for you, or the peace that you didn't have, the needs that were not met for you as a kid. So a lot of times what happens too is that you as a kid, you were so overwhelmed by all these experiences that were negative, or all this abuse, all this negativity coming from your family, from your environment, all this pain and just emotional struggle, that a lot of times what happens is that you abandon your body. Basically, you abandon your body because obviously the body stores trauma. You can physically feel the trauma. There's just so much emotions, so much pain, that as a kid you have no option but to abandon your body in a way. And what comes with that is that you are not used to being in the present moment. You really aren't. And obviously you escape to this reality that you've been creating in your head, and stay there because it's a safe space where you can be at. So obviously that's very unfortunate, and a lot of people go through that, and you might find it very difficult now to even be in the present moment because your brain, your mind still thinks that if they come back to the present moment, they're coming back to the reality you had back then. But now you might most likely be an adult, you might have moved out, and it's still very difficult for you to come back to your body, to your reality, to the present moment. And because of that, you tend to live more in this reality in your head, right? Well, I don't wanna keep just explaining the same thing. So how do we heal maladaptive daydreaming? How do we, I'm not gonna say fix it, because I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just adapted this coping mechanism and you no longer need it. And you realize that it no longer serves you. Back then it served a purpose. It helped you cope with what you were going through, but now it's probably interfering with your life. And you might most likely come back to this new reality so you can make it whatever you want. So let's first try to understand what maladaptive daydreaming really is. Yes, I did explain where it comes from, but let's try to understand it, because it's not something bad. It's not your enemy. It's not a problem. It was something that was trying to help you. Your mind was trying to help you, and it still is trying to help you, even though it isn't, but that's what it's trying to do. So don't see it as something necessarily bad, but something that we're gonna rewire ourselves to just develop something that serves us best. Let's just teach our brain that we no longer need that coping mechanism. So to understand it, you gotta understand the purpose it has. Basically and obviously, the purpose it has is just to take you away from this reality and take you to your imaginary world where you feel better. Sure, like you're probably like, I don't know, you're probably daydream about being famous, being rich, I don't know, being a superhero, something like that. So right now you could be thinking, well, how is that a need of mine? Or like, sure, of course I'm not gonna have those things in my reality. Yeah, but those are not the things that you want. You don't really necessarily want to be a superhero. Well, it would be really cool, but that's not really what you're looking for in this reality. Because remember, what I said is that you're escaping this reality to go daydream about a reality where your needs are met. And you might be like, being a superhero, being rich and famous, it's probably not a need. It's more like a desire. Yeah, but in the end, you're trying to fulfill a need. You don't want the money. You don't want the fame that you have in your daydream. You don't want to be a superhero necessarily, but you want what it makes you feel. You want what it gives you. And at the end of the day, it fulfills a need. And what could that need be? Well, if you daydream of being rich and all that, you could have this need of security, of course, of peace. If you daydream about having fame, you could be trying to fulfill a need of validation, a need for approval, a need for being seen and heard. Why? Because those are the needs that you were not given when you were a kid. Those are the needs that your parents did not fulfill, or your family, whoever was around, right? Those are the needs that you didn't have. And those are the needs that you as a kid tried to get from another reality, because you realized that was probably the only way you could get them, to falsely create them in another reality. So now as an adult, you still want those things. You still want all those things. You're still that kid that wants to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, to be understood, to be validated, to have some approval from the family they had. You're still that kid that wants all those things. And when you go to these realities, yeah, sure, they dream about great things, being a superhero, being whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you don't want those things. You want what they make you feel. You want them because they fulfill the need that you didn't have. So the first step, my finger is like, I was born with this finger. Yeah, I know, it's weird. It looks like a Shiro. Anyways, the first step is to understand where it comes from. Understand the purpose of maladaptive daydreaming. Understand what you're trying to do with it, because obviously you're trying to help yourself. So don't see it as, oh, I want to get rid of it. Understand it first. So that's one thing. Obviously, you understand it, but by understanding it, I mean, identify the needs that you're trying to fulfill. I will put that as a second step. First, understand what you're doing, understand what it is, understand that you are escaping your reality into another reality where you have some needs met, a reality that makes you feel good because your reality might not make you feel that great. That's the first step. Understand it. Second step, identify the needs that you're trying to fulfill in this new reality. Try to understand what you're trying to fulfill. It could be that, oh, if you daydream about being, I don't know, a superstar, a singer, or just being the best at something. I don't know, you're daydreaming about something, right? Try to identify why. If obviously I'm doing it because it makes me feel good, but why does it make me feel good? What do I have here in this fake scenario that I don't have here? And please don't answer, oh, well, like a freaking plane or something. No, it's not the plane you want. Remember, you want the plane because it gives you what? And it will be something as simple as you're looking for approval, or you feel like you don't have approval, love, peace, certainty, money, I don't know, something. But at the end of the day, you want approval, or to feel whole and complete, to feel good about yourself. You want something. So the second step is identify the need you're trying to meet. What is it that you don't have? What is it that you have in this reality that you don't have here and that you're looking for it? And try to dig into it to find the need that you're trying to meet. Because sure, I could be like, oh, I daydream about being a supermodel. I could be daydreaming about that. Sure. Okay, so what do I have in this reality that I don't have here? Obviously, I'm not a supermodel. So that's one thing. But remember, that's not what you want. That's not the need that you're trying to fulfill. So yeah, I'm not a supermodel in this reality, and that's what I do have in this fake scenario. But what do I want? Why does it make me feel good? And I could find out that, well, I feel embraced and accepted by other people. And that's why this fake scenario makes me feel good. Because yeah, besides being a supermodel, what I get at the end of the day is that I feel embraced and accepted by my community or by other people. So you see, I identify the need that I could be trying to meet there, right? So once you identify the need, obviously what you're gonna do, and it might not be as simple. If you have this, you know, just as well as I do, that it's not gonna be as easy. But the last step for you is gonna be, obviously, once you identify the need, fulfill it yourself. And also, besides fulfilling that need, you're gonna have to understand that other people might not be able to fulfill that need, because obviously, like if you want to feel accepted, other people might not be able to do that for you. So by fulfilling that need, I don't mean, oh, gain people's approval. No, you're gonna fulfill that need yourself. If what you're looking for in these fake scenarios is approval or love or certainty, peace, whatever it is, then the last step is gonna be to fulfill it yourself. Just find a way to fulfill that need. If it's approval, obviously approve yourself, accept yourself, stop judging yourself. If it is love, learn how to love yourself, learn how to feel okay on your own, enjoy your own company, and whatever it is, just fulfill that need. And you're gonna have to understand, that other people might not be able to fulfill that need. That as you're learning how to fulfill that need, you might find that other people cannot completely approve you or accept you, and that's okay, because as long as you do it, you'll be fine. And you realize that the more you fulfill whatever need you're trying to fulfill, the less you're gonna try to look for it somewhere else, especially in this reality, in this fake scenario, in this imaginary reality that you created, you're gonna find yourself visiting this place less often because you no longer need to go there to look for something that you are now learning how to have it in your actual reality, right? Now you don't have to escape over there to look for something that you now have in your reality. So you're gonna find yourself spending a lot less time in that reality. But another thing that you should definitely do, if you don't want to invest too much time, or you kind of like forget to do it, or forget to do the work, or just want to do it faster, what you can do is that every single time that you're about to have a fake scenario or like start to daydream, stop yourself. You stop yourself before you do it, and you're gonna find that you're gonna feel anxious, or you're gonna feel uncomfortable. Why? Because those are the feelings you're trying to escape. Sure, if you're trying to fulfill a need of being approved or being loved in your fake scenario, when you decide to stop, like, no, wait, I'm about to have it, I stop, you might face the opposite of what you actually have. Feeling non-accepted, feeling judged, not feeling love, whatever it is, you might feel it, and you might start to realize that you are also escaping those emotions, obviously, because you're trying to look for the opposite. But anyways, what you can do is to like accelerate the process, that every single time you're about to have a fake scenario, stop yourself. You stop yourself for some seconds, and yeah, you might experience some like uncomfortable feelings. It's okay, just let them be. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just letting you know how you feel. They're letting you know what you feel this reality has for you. So you stop yourself, and as you stop yourself, ask yourself, wait, why am I about to escape to another reality or to my mind? Why am I about to have this fake scenario? Why do I feel the need to go there instead of being here? So once you ask yourself that question, you might be able to answer it. Like, oh well, the fake scenario was gonna be this. What need am I trying to meet here? And once you identify it, you don't need to have the fake scenario. The less you do it, the more you get used to stopping yourself, like staying away from that habit. You can really stop yourself little by little, but it will only stop if once you identify the need, you can say an affirmation like, whatever the need is, like love or approval or peace. You just stop yourself from having the fake scenario, and you repeat to yourself some affirmations that tell you that this reality is also safe. In this reality, you can also find your needs met. It could be something like, I fully love and approve of myself, and I don't need anyone else's approval. If that's what the fake scenario was about, you can just repeat some affirmations to fulfill that need, because obviously the more you say something, the more your brain believes it, and it just becomes a habit. So that's one tip that if you want to use it, it's up to you. Just whenever you're about to have a fixed scenario, stop yourself, ask yourself, why do I feel the need to escape to this fake scenario? What am I looking for here? Because you're trying to look for something, remember? And just stop yourself and say some affirmations. I fully approve myself. I love myself unconditionally, and that's why I don't need to go to this fake reality to get what I want, because I have it here and I know how to fulfill it myself. So that's an affirmation you can say, obviously, in your mind. I mean, if you want to say it out loud, that's up to you. You could be at a restaurant at work. It's up to you. I mean, set the example for everyone else. I would say do it in your mind, but if you want to be a weirdo, I highly encourage you to be a weirdo, because there's no better type of person in this world than a weirdo. So that's just basically it. And yeah, it sounds easy, but you know more than I do, or just as well, that it's not as easy. But the more you do this, the more you're gonna come back to this reality, the less you're gonna feel a need to escape to a fake scenario, to your mind where you feel safe, where you feel your needs met, because you're gonna work on teaching your inner child that this reality is now safe, because you are gonna make it safe for them. Like, don't just take them back to the reality and don't give them what they need, or don't show them the safety that they need. You're gonna take them back to this reality and show them, hey, now I'm in charge, and now this place is safe because I'll make it safe for you. And another thing that might be very difficult is to stay in the present moment, to stay in your body, because like I said before, if you also have maladaptive daydreaming, you might have experienced really just really hard trauma in your childhood, and you might also have escaped your body. So you want to come back, you might want to come back to your body. It's really gonna help you, and that might be really hard when you do it, because as you start coming back to your body, you might realize that it's full of stored trauma, full of emotions, full of fear. Why? Because that's the child that you basically abandoned. And it's not your fault, because that child also took that decision because it was the best that they could possibly do, because everything that was going on was not your fault and was out of your control. You needed help, but obviously the people that put all those problems in your life were not gonna solve them. Your kid, your inner child took the best decision they could take to try to cope with the reality. So when you come back to your body, you might face all that again. It's really hard. You might realize that you basically abandoned a child. You might feel like it. But remember that that child is you. And it might be very uncomfortable to be in your body, because it's like if almost as if you came back to the reality you left. But just remind yourself that you're no longer there, and you never have to come back there, and that now you're an adult, now you are the one in charge, and that everything's okay now. So just little by little, it doesn't have to be like, oh, all of a sudden, just little by little, you can do some meditations to come back to your body, or just practice being in the present moment, even when you're at work. And the more like the less you start having these fake scenarios, the more you're gonna be in the present moment. So if you practice being in the present moment, you might have to face this body that you had to abandon because it was the best thing that you could do. You had to abandon it because you were a kid and you didn't have the tools to be able to overcome what you were going through, and all that trauma, all those emotions. You were not able to cope with them. You didn't know, you were not taught, and you didn't have the help you needed. But now you do, because now you're an adult and you can help yourself and you can heal yourself, and now you're capable of doing, or more like fulfilling, all the needs that that kid needed, and giving that kid all the help they need, right? So just one thing that I want to tell you is that it's not going to be forever. Once you come back to your body, what in your mind, what it's going to do, it's going to start processing all the trauma, all the emotions. Yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable, but it's not going to last forever. It's just going to process it. So you might notice that it's going to start to go away little by little, because it's just moving all the stored trauma, all the energy, and all the negative emotions that you were not able to face back then. But then now you can help your child, your inner child, face. So that's just basically it. if I had to do a quick recap. I think it's too much information to do so, but I hope you kind of understood what I tried to explain. So yeah, that's just basically it. Just try to identify the needs that this fake reality is giving you, because this fake reality and these fake scenarios, they're not bad. They're your safe place. They're your safe place where you are getting what this reality doesn't seem to offer you, but that obviously you can offer yourself.